Good afternoon, everyone. We still have a lot of people who probably they're running late or something, but it's okay. We're going to start, yeah? My name is Jolene. I'm from ARE Property. I'm going to do a quick introduction before I hand over to my colleague who will be giving you all the information you need about Perth today. So for those of you, I saw some familiar names and faces like, welcome back and thank you for taking your time to join us on a Saturday. We promise you it won't be long. And to everybody who is new here, at ARE Property, we do physical events sometimes, but we also do webinars for people in our database, our clients, for updates and so forth. Yeah. If you want to watch other webinars we have done before, I'll share a link with you in the chat box later. But otherwise, today's webinar is all about Perth, like areas that are up and coming. Kelvin will be sharing all of that with you, and where the opportunities are and how to secure a package or a house and land lot. So, okay, Kelvin, I will pass it on to you.
Thank you very much, Jolene. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. My name is Kelvin, ex-Malaysian, still Malaysian at heart. Been living in Melbourne for almost 20 years now. And I have the pleasure of studying in Perth years and years ago. And that's why I've got a very intimate knowledge and also connections to Perth, Western Australia. Today's session is more about getting to know some of the areas that a lot of you may not be familiar with Perth. And also it's a bit more like a geography lesson. So bear with me if any one of you are very, very familiar with Perth or Western Australia. Then I'll dive into different sectors, areas, which I think it's good for investment and also very good for owner-occupiers as well. And I'll tell you why. And I won't be touching a lot on the Australia's economy or Western Australia's economy because I've done that previously in the 2 Perth session. So if you want to, then Jolene will provide you those links. So I'm just going to share my screen now. All right, great. So can you see my screen, everyone? Can you put a thumbs up in the chat box? Just making sure that it's all clear. You can see them. Great, thank you, Charlemagne. Okay, Western Australia is a very, very large state. It's the largest state in the whole of Australia, spanning hundreds and hundreds of kilometers up north and down south. So looking at the screen, you will see the first yellow arrow, that's Perth. And I'm going to kind of like drive through the coastal areas so that you have a bit of inkling as to where these places are. If you're thinking of visiting Perth or have visited Perth, you probably heard of these seaside resorts, seaside towns. They are very beautiful. They're very similar to Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, in Melbourne. So you hear township like Mandurah, which is 72 km down south from Perth, Bunbury, Busselton, and then, of course, those of you who enjoy drinking wine, Margaret River. So that's 271 kilometers from Perth, which is about 3 hours and 20 minutes drive. So not a bad drive. I've driven down there before. It's a beautiful winery region. Today, I'm going to cover 3 areas in Perth or Western Australia. I'll start off with the northwest, then I'll go inland northeast, then I'm just going to dive down to the southern side of Perth. I'll start off with northwest, which is Joondalup. Joondalup is home to Edith Cowan University. So Joondalup, it's about 28 kilometers from Perth up north in the northwest. And within Joondalup, Joondalup is a very established township. It's been established since the 80s. and flourished right through about the 90s. Then it kind of like took a bit of a hibernation, and things are picking up and looking really well for Joondalup. And the areas that I'm going to go through with you will be Alkimos and also Sinagra. If you have a look at the map on the screen, as Joondalup is already a township, all these other areas around Joondalup are actually quite well developed. And I guess the next part that you can move to will be either Alkimos or further up in Yanchep, Two Rocks, and further up. And then, of course, across the lake, that's where Sinagra is, like a new master plan community as well. So you'll see in the photos afterwards. And this region of Joondalup is forecasted to increase 270,000 people by 2046. So that's growing by 44%. Okay, Joondalup. So Joondalup, it attracts a lot of visitors. So it attracts 2.7 million visitors. There's about 60,000 students there, about 50,000 workers, and lots of businesses. It generates $6.4 billion to the Western Australia government. And unemployment rate is only 4%, which is sitting around the national level. Bear in mind, these figures are dated 2018. Things are much better now in Joondalup. So unemployment is probably sitting at about 3%. And of course, Joondalup is the city for Edith Cowan University and also the Western Australia Police Academy. So I dare say this city is pretty safe because the police and the students are all there. In terms of the residents who lives in Joondalup, you can see from the graph on the left-hand side of the screen, Joondalup is almost like a haven for a lot of British people. So it started off with all the Brits going to Perth and then suddenly decided to move to Joondalup, and it flourished from there. So majority of the people there are English, followed by South Africans, New Zealand, Ireland, Zimbabwe, Indians, Malaysian, there's also Chinese. So it's actually quite well mixed, but predominantly people from UK. And looking at the age group between 2019 and even projected 2031, you do find that there's a lot of young people and also the working class crowd in working age crowd in Joondalup. So it's actually a thriving township and thriving community. And with Edith Cowan University being there, they are actually made a commitment to the WA government to turn the university into a cybersecurity innovation hub. So they're projecting about 18,000 cybersecurity workers seeking job within the next decade and made them available. So it's a good training ground for computer hackers, legal hackers, and also protecting the cyber world. So the McGovern government has committed about $16.7 million just for this initiative. So it is a thriving industry. And this is Alkimos. If you remember from the map, it's the further up from Joondalup and only 18 k's to Joondalup. Alkimos is a nice little suburb that's more like a beach seaside suburb for people who are wanting that kind of lifestyle. And people in Perth love the beach. It's a beachside city. It comes alive during hot summer months, and people do go into hibernation in winter. Whereas for Melburnians, we go out anytime, any day, doesn't matter. We do go out and do stuff. So a bit of difference between the Western Australians and Victorians. As you can see from the map or the aerial map here, it's actually quite developed, the Alkimos area. And this is the estate that I'm referring you to. I'll change to the next slide so that you can see what's been happening here. So this estate is called Shorehaven. It's going to be homes to 3,000 people or 3,000 new build. And it's only about 5 minutes to the future Alkimos train station. And it's only 40 minutes drive to Perth. You can see how the houses have been built. The developer started from the inland and moving out to the front. Now, this whole section here on the left-hand side of your screen is actually prime location because people do want to have easy access, walking distance, 5 minutes walk to the main beach. So now is actually a good time to secure one if you're thinking of targeting your residents or tenants to have that beach lifestyle, yeah? And from the master plan, you can see that this is a very, very well planned community with a lot of shops and also ovals and reserves so that to ensure that it's actually a thriving community. So this is Shorehaven in Alkimos, developed by Pete Developer, which is one of the top 10 developers in Australia. Looking at the house price guide put up by realestate.com. Now, bear in mind, this house price guide is based on established homes, means secondary sales. So from July 2023 to June 2024, the median house price is 595,000, which is just under 600,000. And you can see the graph, there's already a 21.8% growth in the last 12 months. And things have picked up very quickly since 2019 up to until today, July 2024. Very limited houses available for sale and lots of interested buyers. So do bear in mind with your established homes, some of these homes may be 10 years old, maybe 20 years old, some even maybe 30 years old. So it's a mixed bag here. So always keep this in mind when you're looking at this data, yeah? Next is Sinagra. Sinagra is the suburb just opposite the Joondalup township. So this is Joondalup, the top side. That's the ocean. And this is the lake. And Sinagra is just across from Joondalup. And Sinagra is only about 8 minutes drive from Joondalup. You can see it's also a very well developed area. There's primary school, there's sports club, there's shopping center, and it's only 30 km to Perth. So again, good area to be looking at because all the infrastructures are already there. And the median house price for Sinagra is a bit more expensive than Alkimos, mainly because it's just next to Joondalup, 630,000. The uptick is increase in price is 14.5%. And in the past month, there's only 13 houses available for sale, which is very unheard of. And the rental yield is very, very good at 5.8%. Next, we move to Southern Victoria. We jump straight down to Southern Perth, actually. Top part, you can see that's Perth. And from Perth going to Hammond Park, it's only about 28 km. I'm putting down the city of Cockburn over here, mainly because this whole area, city of Cockburn, it's a employment hub. There's a lot of activities going in Cockburn Central, Cockburn, city of Cockburn. It's home to 130,000 people, 52,000 jobs, and also economic output of $30 billion a year. And population is also set to grow to 191,000 by 2046. Because this is such a thriving employment hub and activity hub, I felt that Hammond Park, Forestdale will be the suburb to go to. As it is, there are a lot of owner-occupiers already living in Hammond Park. I just found out a friend of mine moved to Hammond Park a few years ago. So when I go to Perth in September, I'll probably visit them in Hammond Park. And also don't forget, apart from the Cockburn Central area, the Murdoch University is only just like minutes away from Hammond Park. And Fremantle is only about 20 minutes. There's a few good estate around this area from Forestdale and Hammond Park. It's the Viviente estate. So as you can see, Murdoch University is here. Cockburn Central, city of Cockburn is here. That's where all the offices, the warehouse, the light industrial, the shopping and everything is all here. So everyone that lives in Hammond Park, Edwell, Bunjuk, Kiara Waters, they travel to Cockburn Central for work, if not Perth for work. And this little pink area is the Vivente estate, which is roughly about here. Okay. The other estate in Hammond Park worth noting is also Hammond West, which is next to the Vivente estate. As you can see from the aerial map, it's a very well-established area with Hammond Park Primary School, Edwell Secondary School, childcare, medical center, Murdoch University, and all that. So it's a thriving community. So a bit of more information. Fiona Stanley Hospital is a very famous hospital in WA, doing a lot of good work, healthcare and everything. And of course, Hammond Park is near the Kwinana Freeway for transportation. There are restaurants, shopping, and then of course there's schools, recreation, aquatic center, and of course the famous Coogee Beach. For those of you who like to swim, Coogee Beach is actually the top 15 beaches in the whole of Australia. So it's only about 12 minutes drive from Hammond Park. Okay, look at the median price. Hammond Park is getting up there, close to 700,000. And in the last 12 months, the growth has been 23%. Only 37 houses available for sale, with about 1,300 interested buyers wanting to buy. Rental yield is 5.4. So the stats is already telling us what's happening in Hammond Park and also the surrounding areas, yeah? Okay, I'm just going to dive into Swan Valley areas. Swan Valley is in the northeastern side of Western Australia or Perth. And from the map, there are three areas that I want you to have a look at, which is Ellenbrook, Henley Brook, and Brabham. Ellenbrook is only 27 km to Perth, Henley Brook 25, and Brabham 21. And it's only 20 minutes to Perth Airport. Swan Valley contributes 350 million annually to the WA economy. And the Ellenbrook area is also projected to have an increase of population by 2031 to about 96,000 people. And especially in Brabham, there's only 12% of houses are being rented out, while most people there are owner-occupiers. As a benchmark, Perth will need 27% of houses available for the renters. So that means there is actually a huge demand and a huge gap that needs to be filled in if you do invest in Brabham. And of course, Brabham with the Henley Brook area next to it, it's very close to the beautiful Swan Valley. Lots of wineries, recreation parks, trails. There's a lot of dining areas. It's a beautiful area if you do get a chance to visit the Swan Valley. And of course, this is the new Ellenbrook Morley train line extension. And Ellenbrook train station is a brand new train station and it's due to open at the end of this year. The Whiteman Park train station is also new. It's also due to open either end of this year or early next year. So with all the new infrastructure coming in, right? So Brabham will be the next spot to really, keep a lookout for. If not, if you can commit, I would say Brabham is the way to go. And with the Brabham estate, it's actually it's a joint partnership between the top Australian developer and also Development WA, which is the investment arm, development arm of the Western Australia government. Looking at the map, you can see it's a very well laid out, very well planned, master plan community with the train station over here, primary school. You get lots of amenities around. So, and the good thing is it's only 21 km to the city. Of course, there's nearby school, Future Town Centre, and also this is the new Whiteman Park train station. Now, looking at the median house price, Brabham is sitting around 620. It's already grown 20.6%, and the rental yield is actually quite high at 6.1%. So it goes to show that the projection by the Urbis Group is correct. There's a high demand of houses in Brabham. Henley Brook is the next estate or the next suburb north from Brabham, and it's developed by Mirvac. Mirvac decided to take a different take to what Brabham is doing by maintaining a lot of the old eucalyptus trees, making it a very, very densely populated tree area, and it's actually quite beautiful, very, very peaceful, and very, very green. And Henley Brook hasn't been cheap. Henley Brook is sitting at 735,000 median price. If you do look at the graph over here, it did start off at $2.1 million in 2019. Don't get a shock that it actually dropped from 2.1 to 735 in June this year, mainly because Henley Brook has always been more like an acreage area. So you get a big farmhouse, big land, and just one house sitting in that big block. So things are changing in the last 3 to 4 years. So developers are buying big blocks of all these farmlands and converting them into more sizable chunks of homes. Rental yield is sitting at 5.2%. And also, I did say WA is a very, very big state. I've been telling all my colleagues in KL that everyone drives in Kuala Lumpur. I just didn't have the figures to prove that. However, I just found a piece of information that confirmed what I've been telling everybody. Perth is ranked one of the world's most car-dependent cities in the world. So the car usage in Perth is 82% compared to Sydney at 67%. And commuting time in Perth is generally about 50 minutes, whereas Sydney is 62 minutes. So I guess that's why the Western Australia government is spending $7 billion to improve their infrastructure and also building the metro net to get people off the roads. But people still drive anyway. So yeah. And if you're asking me about property prices, this is what's been happening in March 2024. From 2004, prices have gone up by 11%. Vacancy rate is sitting at 0.5% as of May 2024 this year. The median house price of Perth is 700,000, third lowest in the whole of Australia, but it probably won't stay long. So there we go. Do we have any questions so far? I think I'll probably leave. There's a few questions there. Okay, I'm just going to share with you one more slide, and then I will take some questions. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Okay. For those of you who's been traveling this investment journey with us, you know how we work, especially those who have been to completed our one-on-one discussion. We look after your purchase or your investment as if it's our own, and we ask you a lot of questions so that we can tailor the solution that is solely based on you and your goals and your strategy. We're not tied into any developer or any builder, so to speak. So we are a very hands-on solution-defined company. And we also have a lot of trusted connections in Australia, including solicitors, building inspectors, property managers, to ensure that we look after your property as well as it's our own. And of course, I've been here, Jolene and I, we've been living here for almost 20 years. And we do understand the local market, the little quirks and also the dynamics of real estate landscape, allowing us to guide you accordingly and also helping you to sidestep any potential issues that will save you time and money. And of course, we do build really good relationships with developer partners and also builders. And the house and land we provide are all turnkey solutions, making it quite seamless and also stress-free as we possibly can. And I would suggest that if you look at what's been happening in Victoria, especially from 2013 to 2018, the whole nation just woke up and decided that Victoria land price has been really, really cheap. And so everyone started to invest in Victoria. That's when our house and land boom happened between 2013 to 2018, including a lot of Malaysian buyers, Singapore, and of course the Chinese. The similar trajectory is about to happen or is already starting to happen in Perth. So I would suggest if you're want to buy something in Perth, now is the time. Don't wait till it's 2018 equivalent to Victoria to catch the last bit. Catch it now while you can. Seize the opportunity while you still are able to secure something. And because there is such an unprecedented demand for house and land in Perth, we work very hard with developers and also builders to secure house and land packages for you, but we also need your help. In order to kind of be in front of everyone, we would need to show that you are committed. And if you can put in $2,000 Australian dollars into a lawyer's trust account so that when the package is available, we can go, this is Mr. and Mrs. Lee, they are ready to go, they're ready to deposit, they're ready to look through the contracts, and you'll be almost in front of the queue of a lot of people. So this is the strategy that we've developed to ensure that we find you what you're looking for. Let me go through the EOI form with you now before we start the Q&A session. Then it will be a lot easier. Okay, this is the EOI or expression of interest form. You can just fill in your name. Solicitors, we were recommending that you'll be using the Wilden's Law Services. And also, if you are interested in any particular areas, you just tick it. You can tick as many as you like, or you can just hone in on one area. So whenever there's a package that is available, we will actually put you in front of the line and say, look, this is the one that we've got. If it's suitable, you can proceed. If it's not, then we'll wait for the next one. Yeah. And time frame at the moment in Western Australia, most of the land time frame is around 6 months to about 12 months, which is quite normal. Once in a blue moon, there might be titled land available and also shorter time frame, but that's quite rare. But we also keep that in mind. So if you do have a time frame that you're planning in terms of budget and also for your I guess some of you may have some funds locked away in fixed deposits. You need a bit of time, also let us know, and we'll try to fit in within your requirement. Give us as much information as possible. And if you can, we can also do a one-on-one so that Jolene, myself, and our team can actually guide you and learn more about why you want to invest, what is your end goal, why are you doing it, and how we can assist you in finding the right spots. Especially if you're so new, you don't really know all the 3 spots are, we can also guide you with that. So I think that's it for me, Jolene.
Okay. Thanks, Kelvin. Everyone. So I think what we were trying to do is we have always tried to secure ready packages for our clients, but in the past 6 months, half a year, it has been extremely hard. So what worked has been our clients who are ready. We said, okay, put in an expression of interest because it's not legally binding, but it's just like, you know, you go and buy let's say you want to buy an Hermes, a Birkin, right? You put a deposit on your wait list. You're not sure what you're going to get, but at least when it's available, it will be shown to you. And if you like it, that's your chance. Because we find that clients who are just like, okay, I want to buy, but I want to wait and see what's available. It's very hard for the packages to reach to them because even in Perth itself, the local demands, there are wait lists built up probably in every builder's company. Yeah, we're just waiting for a lot. So I have spoken to some of you recently, and some of you spoken to my colleagues. So I think today, the while presenting, we have gone through, we've had meetings, and Kelvin has selected these few locations for all our clients because there are still growth potential there and they get really good rental yield. And it is really a much easier step to get into the Perth market. So I'm gonna let you unmute yourself now. Anybody, do you have any questions for us? Or like if you want Kelvin to go back to a certain estate earlier on or certain price range, let us know. We can, Kelvin can answer. Anyone here?
Jolene,
Oh, you're all,
looking at the chat room, Mr. Lim Seemingly has asked whether if there's a nearby bridge. As far as I know, there's not. You just need to drive around the lake from Sinagra to Joondalup, and it's only 8 minutes drive. So because of that, I think it will be quite a waste to put a bridge across the lake, because the lake is actually quite beautiful. Yeah, so that you can drive around the lake. What else?
Yeah,
I think
is there anything? Because I'm surprised everyone's so quiet. There must be something you want to know about the suburb, that Kelvin just talked about. Okay, Dr. Julian has a question for you, Kelvin.
Yep. Okay, Dr. Julian. Okay, Dr. Julian is wondering the package price for house and land, expected completion timeframe, and also the usual financing options. House and land package is very much dependent on the time frame of the title of the land. So if the land is titled, let's say title means ready for settlement, yeah, means the land is ready to be handed over to you and also the builder to start building. If the land is available, let's say in October, and you settled in October, it's safe to say you probably need to allow 1 year for the completion of the construction. Not that the construction will take 1 year. You got to factor in things like summertime holidays, Christmas, that would take a big chunk out of the builder's time frame. And also the fact that to get the all the construction drawings out for council to apply for building permit, it does take a little while. Usually about 2 to 3 months, what we call in the construction industry, site start. So once site start happens, construction will happen quite quickly. For some of the houses, it might only take about 6 months for it to be complete. So all up, I would say maybe allow for about 1 year from settlement of your land. In terms of financing options, at this moment, Malaysian banks are not funding the house and land type construction. It would have to be cash, or if you want to, then you can look at the second tier financial institution for lending. Jolene should be able to send you and give you a bit of pointers, and so is our team in terms of which financiers that you can speak to.
Yeah.
Jolene, did I miss anything?
No. So, Dr. Julian, in terms of financing, so as Kelvin pointed out, so for house and land packages for foreigners, you can get financing from what we call second tier financiers in Australia. They're basically mortgage companies. But of course, like if you want to compare, the rates will be a little bit higher than local Australian banks. But unfortunately, Australian banks at the moment do not lend to foreigners. And Malaysian banks tend to lend for single contract products, not for house and land build. They will at the moment consider like apartments, that kind of thing. Yeah. So we do have connections to mortgage companies. They're pretty good. So we can definitely put you in touch with that. I will let your sales agent to liaise with you on that. Yeah. Let us know if that answer your question, Dr. Julian. And then next, Gavin. Gavin, would you recommend down payment of 20% just to avoid paying the LMI? I'm not quite sure what LMI is, but anyway, in Australia,
Mortgage insurance.
okay. Because Australian banks, they don't do they do mortgage insurance? I don't think so, right? So I think for foreigners financing, they do provide you financing up to 70%. So you still need to come up with about around 30% for the mortgage companies. And Michelle Yong asked a question. Kelvin, I think I will let you answer this one. Is there a train line serving Hammond Park or Forest Field?
Yeah, or Forestdale. Yeah, there is a train line that goes from Hammond Park to the city, and you do a stop over in Kobe Central, where the main train station is as well. So there are train facilities that will take you to the city. But like I said, everyone drives in Perth, and it's actually quite normal to drive, but it's a bonus to have the train line around that suburb.
Okay, hope that answers your question, Michelle. Okay, Kelvin, Mr. Pradeep
So,
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
I'll let you answer
Pradeep
that.
is asking whether if there's any possibility of getting acreage around Henley Brook. It's going to be quite hard, but potentially yes. My question for you, unless you are very into farming and also animal farming, then maybe that would be great. But I would say getting an acreage anywhere in Australia is hard work. And you've got to factor in the fact that apart from the hard work, the cost of running the farm is also quite high, and you need to spend a lot of time. I've spoken to a few clients that did ask me this question. So Pradeep, it's a very, very good question. A lot of Malaysian clients do have this inkling to buy an acreage farm, live in a farmland, and also enjoy that kind of like a farming resort type of holiday. It sounds really, really good and romantic, but it's actually quite hard work and it's quite tough. So I would suggest if you want to maybe just try out the farming accommodation for a while before deciding to spend money on an acreage. I'm happy to take this conversation out of the chat group because we have been chatting for a little while. So I'm happy to talk to you on one-on-one, Pradeep. Yeah. So I'll give you a call later. And also with Gavin, you're a resident. What are the benefits that I get from financial institution over there? Free stamp duty, first home scheme. Yes, if you are a resident, Gavin, if you do get the first home owner's grant, that's worth $10,000, only available to residents, i.e. permanent resident or citizen, not available for foreign buyers, I'm sorry. Then there you also get a stamp duty concession if you're buying a property in Australia. For in fact, for all of the foreign buyers, there will be a foreign FIRB application fee you need to pay. And also stamp duty in Western Australia is roughly about 4%. So these are the costs. And also FIRB stamp duty is about 7%. However, if you're looking at buying house and land, you got to remember that stamp duty calculation is based on the land and not as a package price. So you do save a lot by the fact that you only pay for, let's say, a block of land is roughly about 330,000. So your 7 plus 4% is based on 330,000 or 300,000. Yeah. As opposed to buying an apartment where you pay full. However, for those who are interested in an apartment, the Western Australia government is actually running a stamp duty discount. So if you're interested, let us know as well, and we can give you a bit more details. So hopefully I've answered your question, Gavin. And also, Seeming, you're asking whether if any future apartment project coming up near inner city or from Royal Perth. Yes, there are. So again, we can also share that with you. So Jolene, if you don't mind, we'll try to catch up with Seeming one-on-one and also organize a catch up with him. So
yeah, sure, no problem. That's fine, Kelvin. Anybody else have any other questions? Do let us know if we do answer a question. And by the way, since in review, people ask about financing. Now, if you're interested to really get to know financing options for foreigners, what we can organize is it's a free assessment. We can get a mortgage company based in Australia to contact you. They can actually assess based on your current income, how much you can borrow or qualify for. If you are also interested, please let us know. Yeah, we can organize this for you. It's pretty easy.
And also before we go, I just thought I'll share my screen with you one more time. For those who are interested, this is the $6 billion investment. It's gone up from 6 billion to about 8 billion now. This is the new metro line train lines, upgrading the old stations and also powering new stations from Yanchep to Joondalup, Ellenbrook to Morley, Perth, Byford, Fremantle, Rockingham, all the way down to Mandurah. So hopefully this helps you to give you a bit of perspective of how serious the Western Australia government wanting to ease some congestion. But driving in Perth is actually quite easy. The freeways are actually quite amazing. So you don't have to worry about that too.
Okay, Pradeep. Okay, Kelvin, you will help Pradeep to get in touch with the financing side.
Yep, we'll do.
Okay. We will our respective salesperson will get in touch with you individually to see whether you have any interest on the few areas that we discussed today, and to get on to place yourself in the wait list for a house and land package. Yeah. And if not, we will contact you. If you haven't been assigned one, we will contact you as soon as possible. Well, I guess that's about it. If there's nothing else, I mean, anything else from you, Kelvin, or from anyone else?
So we're happy. Our doors are always open to have a
Yeah.
more intimate chat one-on-one. So please reach out, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a
All
good
right.
rest of the weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.